Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time you find yourself watching this video. Welcome back to Life is Hard, Don't Complain. In this case, I'm filming this video in the morning. Got some coffee with my new, if you can see it, Tops Knives mug. Thank you guys. They were really great. The first mug I got from them came, unfortunately it was broken in shipping, and I messaged them, and virtually the same day they had a new one in the mail to me. So thank you guys at Tops Knives. Today we're going to look at a Rough Ryder fixed blade, Rough Ryder knives. We'll just kind of go for more than 20 years. Rough Ryder brand has followed the traditions established by the original Rough Ryder, Teddy Roosevelt. Handpicked the very best materials from every corner of the world to create top quality products. Anything less just wouldn't be a Rough Ryder. This is the Rough Ryder, and this box is so big, I have to just read it. It's made in China. It's a RR2317. So because of the size of this guy, we're gonna try to do this the right way. Here we go. What's in the box? Not much. No swag, no advertisements, just the knife, which is fine by me. I find myself with a pile of knife type advertisements. Okay, so here's our knife. We're gonna go ahead and weigh it. We'll weigh it and see what we can see. All right. It's a big boy, 912 grams. 32.17 ounces. That's in the sheath. Let's take her out of the sheath. It's looks to be a nylon branded sheath, Rough Ryder. And it's got the dangling clip. Well, not clip, but dangling on a D-ring. Nylons. This is a big knife, scout. So scout carry would be the way to go. Let's do the shake test. It's a heavy knife. So, and this is not Kydex. So we're gonna give them a little grace. We'll see if this strap holds. I bet you it does. I mean, it feels pretty stout. The knife's wiggling around, but it is not going anywhere. So that held. It is brown G10 handles with a nickel guard, brass pins. This is a nice little design feature. This brass mosaic pin. And let's pull her out. And on one side, you see your Rough Ryder. Other RR2317. That's the model number. Made in, like it says, made in China. And let's see. Okay, so 27.3 ounces. So this guy, it's almost 2 pounds by itself. I mean, let's do the grams. It's more than 1.5 pounds, so 774 grams. And kind of the reason why I wanted to do this knife is most of my reviews lately have been on smaller folding knives, and we'll try to get a little problem. I liked to zoom in so everybody could see easier. But you know, I try to do these videos with as little edits as possible, just because I think it's better that way. I mean, some people, I have a friend who says I should edit the hell out of these videos, and he might not be wrong. I don't, but you know, it's just I'm old and set in my ways, so we'll leave it at that. I'm just cleaning this guy off. It's got some packing oil, grease. This knife, I'm kind of in with styles right now. I'm into sort of the almost like Filipino Bowie style. It's not really Filipino style, this one, but with the recurve big belly here. It's basically a clip point, but we're just gonna clean her up just a hair. And this is great EDC. If you like a spray on and not a wicket wax or a blade butter type situation, I recommend these guys. They do a really good job. I think they're based out of Texas, so you know, give them a look at least. I try to promote where I can. Now this is a budget knife. I got it for a song. I got it a while back, so I don't quite remember what I actually spent on it, but it was this knife was under, I think it was under $35 for a big old slab of steel. And this is 440A stainless, so it's a budget steel, you know. 440A, it's easy to sharpen, you know, that's probably, and it's good on the corrosion resistance, you know. It's a steel you see on budget knives. Let's do that. There we go. So you know, what can I say? It's 440 is not a super steel. It's a budget steel, but this, you know, this guy, I'm becoming more and more interested in Rough Ryders. I learned, I know they're made in China, but I learned that Rough Ryder is a brand that is owned by Smoky Mountain Knife Works now. Giant store, about 2 or 3 hours from where I live. I haven't been there yet, but the guys seem to be good old boys, you know, good old country boys up in I think they're in Tennessee. So, but they've always done right by me. So I've looked at their brand, and you know, for budget knives, Rough Ryder is surprisingly high on quality. Now, one thing I'll show. They said this was a full-tang, but it is not a full-tang. This nickel handguard seems to be one. And if we look at the blade, we will see that the tang is about 3/4 of an inch wide. Let's look at the spine of this guy. It's a 90-degree spine. So you could definitely use this. This could be, you know, Bowie knives traditionally were not. Bowie knives were fighting knives. Jim Bowie, Battle of the Alamein, 4.5. Well, my calipers, 4.55. So, thick blade spine. It feels like an absolute tank. Let's look at how sharp it is. I don't know. I haven't touched the edge yet, but very sharp. Okay. Let's see. I don't normally do this, but we'll. I mean, you know, let's do it one more time. Kind of tore, but I mean, it's certainly sharp. I'm not gonna shave with this guy, but it is very, very sharp. I like the potential for this knife. You know, the blade shape itself, well, first, very stabby. We like stabby things. Your fingers are protected with this guard. This forms a nice pocket. They also have, which, if you're doing bushcrafting, and you guys know me, I am not going to pretend to be Captain Bushcraft, but if you are bushcrafting, two really positive things. This edge, you can certainly use a ferro rod, start a fire. Here, this finger choil, added finger choil, because at first it looks kind of like, why is that even there? But now, okay, let's talk about this first. And then I'll make it my observation. You could do feather sticks. You can, a lot of control, extra control, because my middle finger can really lock in there. And now, you know, it becomes very, very controlled, this could be your little scalpel at that point. When we're just holding the guy, okay, solid handle, G10, brown G10, sculpted brown G10, solid handle, heavy as hell though. So now this end, it's an interesting, you know, edge. And I'm sure there's a better name. If you know that what this is typically, I call this a recurve with a belly clip point, but there's probably a more official name. So the knife, it's sharp. Rough Ryder's, the company, offers lifetime warranty. Their warranties are supposed to be, I've never had to utilize it, but it's supposed to be very good. You know, this again, with the thickness of this spine and the way it's shaped, you could baton wood, you know, for a fighting, let's talk about Bowie knives just in general. For a fighting knife, it is heavy, you know. The weight of it is such that it's like, wow, okay, we're gonna, If you have to use it, okay. Now, with this big old blade, it's, I think this knife is about 14 inches. It's so wide that I'll try to measure it here. See, it takes up the whole frame. Give me a second here, and let's get the full measurement of this big boy. I mean, it is 14 and change, 14-inch knife. I mean, which is not small. It's got over 8 inches of cutting edge on the blade. So, I mean, you have your reach at that point. What are my thoughts about it? Well, for the price, I cannot say enough nice things about this guy. The handle is super solid feeling. Now it might just be the size of my hands. I have medium to large hands. Perhaps, and this is just, you know, an observation. Now this handle is very smooth, okay? And if you watch the channel, you know I don't mind G10, but and it's got some texture you can see there, but it's very mild. I don't dislike G10, but I'm more of a micarta guy just for the grippiness of micarta. So if I was really putting this guy through an assessment, I would want the handle to be a little bit grippier, just a little, and maybe if you can see that, and it's too long. Just what I would do, it's a symmetrical handle scale on both sides. But what I would do, a little asymmetrical where it's thicker on top. Just a small shaving off of here, make this a little asymmetrical, this thinner. I would have a better grip, but it's, I mean, the grip itself is locked in. So all in all, really happy about the purchase. From a tactical point of view, while I think the blade is nice and very, somebody pulls this out, this is like that Crocodile Dundee thought, that's not a knife, this is a knife, you know. It's a beautiful knife with a kind of a intimidating shape. But for me, due to the weight of it and just a couple of the elements, you know, this it would be, in my observation here, it would be much stronger if the tang was a true full tang. It, you know, the handle has a full tang, but that is not, you know, the tang of the blade is pinned in, and without that, you have a severe weak point right here. Although it is, well, you can see some daylight. There is some daylight right there, which tells me about the tang, the width of the tang. So what am I talking about? Why do I harp on that? Well, this guy would be a bushcrafting knife for me, not something that I would carry with me on a deployment or on a very sensitive type of assignment. This would not, the fail point, the potential for a fail point is enough for me to kind of go, especially, you know, I'm not a steel snob. 440A is a very budget, it's been around forever, you know, budget steel. It's fine, you know. If it gets dull, you can put an edge back on that fast. Not a big deal. If you're a smaller person, this thing's way too heavy, you know. You can get some small hatchets, a camp axe or something like that, to do the same tasks and without the fail point potential. So be that as it may, I would, if I was backpacking, for me, this is not a knife that's so heavy, but you know, I'm not a tiny guy, so, or female, so, you know, take that as you will. But room for improvement, yes. Sub $40, big old knife. Price point is awesome. I would love for the guys at Rough Ryder to revisit this knife with a true full-tang, micarta scales, and oh yeah, I meant to say this earlier. You know, this gives you a lot of great control. It would be even better if you put some jimping, just about an inch and a half of jimping right there, that much, because if there was jimping there to lock in your thumb, it already, just the shape kind of captures your thumb, but the jimping would be even better. So if I was helping them make a premium version of this knife, which then I would buy, we would change up the steel. Now, what steel would you use for this? You know, and again, I'm not a knife snob. I've seen a million Magna Cut everything, and I just think that they were offloading Magna Cut. Magna Cut is awesome. It's great steel. But everybody using Magna Cut where, you know, a year ago, not everybody, you just didn't see it as nearly as much. I think they, with Crucible going out of business, they just were getting Magna Cut blanks for a good price. So, but with that being said, like a 3V steel, like even a 52-100 ball bearing type, a tool steel would do really well with this guy. Now, when you get into tool steels, you're going to lose some of the corrosion resistance. So it would probably need to be coated at that point, which is okay too. But that's if we were trying to improve upon something that people are not asking me my opinion on. So, and fair enough. Anyhow, that's my review of the Rough Ryder RR2317 Bowie knife. I give it a very strong B+ or an A-. The only reason it's not a confident A is the size of the tang. That's it, you know? And maybe the weight, but the weight has its advantages. So Anyhow, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions about Rough Ryder products, you can ask me, or you can ask Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's their company. I've done, I think, one review already of a Rough Ryder Trapper, I believe I did. It was a Trapper, and I really liked it. Old school, very old school type knife. Anyway, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate the feedback I've been getting, and you know, it makes me keep making these videos. So, with that being said, remember, life is hard. Don't complain. Until next time, take care.